Hello everyone and welcome to a new video tutorial, Grasshopper. Today I'm gonna present a very interesting tool that I just discovered very recently. The name of the tool is LandKit, um, which is really great. This tool. It's quite I think suitable for people who are working, designers and landscape architects who are working with terrain modeling. um, the tool has the capacity to generate an algorithm-based design um, using landscape workflows. So it has three components. One is the Topo Kit, the other is the paving kit, and the third one is the plan kit. You can download um, the basic features um, ready for Rhino 6 and Rhino 7. Okay, so you can download it from the website. Here they explain the different features and how you to install it. I will guide you as well how to do that. But you can also buy the Pro version um, with different additional features, or what they call the Pro keys, that will help you to save time. I'm not gonna work with this tool, so what I'm gonna do is just to show you how to use the Topo Kit, Plan Kit, and Paving Kit with the basic features. So today, the video tutorial today will be shorter than my usual videos because I'm going to introduce the tools um, um, one by one. So I don't need to cover everything in one single video, otherwise it's very tedious. So today I will introduce the basic tools for the Topo Kit. The Topo Kit has the capacity of generate topographic terrains or meshes, or what they call it here, just topo meshes, from 3D inputs. They can be breaklines, walls. It could be from spots and curves and contours. So the most common, the contours. So in this video, we'll show you how you create your own contours. In previous video tutorials I have in my YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will see a lot of video tutorials on Grasshopper using Docofossor and Bison. This is for how you can create a terrain or a topography from DEMs, DSMs, and DEMs, and DTM. So digital terrain models, digital surface models, and digital elevation models. And so basically it's from GeoTIFFs or from ASCII grids, Esri grids, raster images. Um, and so those, I got a lot of comments and questions from some of my followers then how we can create our own topographic features. I mean, instead of using the existing terrain, we have our own topographic lines or our own design, and how we can create a topography from it in a very fast way. So this tool will help you a lot. Okay, so today just gonna focus on how to generate the topographic lines and how to create a basic topo mesh and do a basic analysis. And in future videos, I will focus more on the specific tools from the Topo Kit, like for grading, like for example, how to create walls, curbs, stairs, and paths, and how you can use all these features to modify your terrain. There is an advanced tool for modifying terrain that I'm not going to cover because that's for the pay option, but in future I may do it. And also areas that it is to define specific areas um, that are also very useful to trim surfaces and meshes. So the areas will help you to generate individual or pieces of the topography, as you can see here in the image. So the Topo Kit comes with these sort of basic tools, and those tools or components that you see a red dot on the upper right corner is just the Pro version. Okay, so let's get started. You can find the Topo Kit or download it here from the LandKit website, or you can also go to Food for Rhino and download it from here. And there are a lot of videos on how to install and download this sort of type of plugins. In future, I will also cover aspects of the paving and plant kit, so stay tuned. Now, let's go to Rhino and Grasshopper. this already open, my Rhino and Grasshopper. So if you're in Rhino 7, you just need to click here in the command package. I will show you something, package manager. And obviously in Rhino 7 it will work. And through package manager, you can also download and install the land topo kit or the whole land kit. But in Rhino 6, this option is not available, but there is a hack for this, which is the name test package manager. And so now the command, it works, and you can also run the package manager in this way. What it is the advantage is like here you have all the plugins that are available through the package manager for you to install directly, like Launchbox, for example, or I don't know, common ones, Ladybug, perhaps. So let's find, for example, Ladybug. No, Ladybug is not there, but for example, Launchbox it is. Launchbox it is. There is another one that is very good one is Caribou. I will work on that later. It's similar to Elk. Elk is not available. Urbano is not available. But LandKit, it is available. So if you click on LandKit, you click on download and install, and you can choose the version. Obviously, I installed already the latest version, the 1.04. And it's already there for you. And once you download it and install it, you just click OK. There is another one, Land Art Tools. Look, it's very interesting that you can find here now, and it's straightforward. So you don't need to use like previously the special folders, component folders, and open here and install all the, let's say, plugins. So how it looks, this is the plant kit comes with a paving kit, topo kit, and plant kit. So today we'll focus on Topo Kit. So Topo Kit has, this is the basic option, create tools, modify tools, analysis tools, and draw tools. So I will show you how to start from the beginning. So to create a topography, the topo, say topo mesh, or all these tools work basically with something that is called a geometry pipeline. So geometry pipeline links multiple geometries to your, let's say, to a layer. So how it does it works, it loads. So if you want to, you have to add here the add geoset. That's the first thing we need to do. Just let me. So now what we have here, the add to geoset, we just click and we type geometry pipeline. Oh, it's there. And this can be linked to one layer in Rhino. So before proceeding, let's create a new Rhino, and let's choose the correct set of um, units that we want to set. So I will choose large object because it's a large topography and meters. So just to be sure that everything is working in meters, okay? And it will create just a lot of defaults and a lot of layers. I will delete the layers. I will leave the default there. So the first thing that it requires the topographic are contours. So the topography requires contours. So let's call it here contours, correct? And contours are curves, so you can choose if these will be points or curves or reps or any other type of mesh. So it will be curves. You don't need to put any other information. Okay, so these contours will feed, will connect it with these curves here. But what we have to do is just create a new layer here and call it contours. So the layer has to match our geometry pipeline. Okay, so let's set this layer as our current layer. Let's put a nice color to identify, let's say, the contours. And then we can go to the top view and draw a couple of lines. So we can draw The first, we can choose the diameter, 40 meters, and then we can choose another one. We can turn on and off our off map and center, etc. If you want. If you don't want, we can create another contour. Let's imagine these are all your contours. You can import your contours from other tools. So in the next video, I will show you how you can create contours from DEMs and DSMs and LiDAR data, and then bring those contours into this, let's say, a pipeline, geometry pipeline. But that will be in future. So this, let's imagine it's also your AutoCAD contours, or you draw them. It can include also lines. It could be like this line. It could be curves, curvilinear ones, if you want. Let's make something more, let's say, interesting. And it can have another, let's say, round shapes here. So circles. So if you see in perspective, they are just simply there. Let's save this. Um, let's save it in the proper place. Yep. So now we have there the information. So as you can see here, the pipeline has collected this information. If you select there, this is showing. Now what happened if we set up here points, points and curve, this will fail collecting the information. Or if we put the wrong name, we forget to put an S value, it will just be contour, it will get the fail information here. So in order just to have it this correct or right, you need to check that the name between the layer and the lane of the layer and your geometry pipeline matches very well. Then we have, and then we can modify, let's imagine these are real contours, so they need to have different heights, obviously. So we can select this, bring it up, then bring it slightly up. I'm just building something like a mound, let's imagine, and then these two will go down. Sorry, just for demonstration purposes, you need to have the correct heights. Let's imagine. Yes, you have there your contours, a mound and a valley, something like that. So what we're gonna do with this information is just to connect to the curves. So everything is working well. We can turn off this information by just clicking and using your scroll button, click on there and disable the preview, or just simple click Control Q. Okay, so this is what we got, and then still we haven't created anything fascinating. Okay, now what we do is we have to draw the topography, so we call it draw topo. And from the draw topo, we need to use this topo instance that is coming from this output. And something is not working. Let me see what's going on. Let's disconnect this. Okay. So before, sorry, that was my mistake. Before drawing the topography, we have to create the topography. So we go to create topo. So there are two steps. So the first, we use the GT value here, the geoset value into the create topo. And then we use this topo mesh or topo instance into this one. And then we created the topography, as you can see here. So how it works is, let me disable this preview. So this topographic mesh is using these contours as an input. If you change in the layer, let's imagine you are in your contours layer, you change this line that it is, and you change the height. Let's make this dramatic. The topography will change. If you change the height, the topography will change accordingly. So Also, if we go to the top and we change, let's imagine the orientation of this and also this, perhaps like that, or you extend it or you reduce it, everything will be modified. So you have here a quite interactive topographic information. So if you have your own topographic or contours or breaklines, then you can just bring them here, and then you can modify the topography and the terrain will be automatically modified. So you can also create here, you can use spots. So by spots, it's what we call, let's say, specific points in the in a layer. So let's put these spot elevation. Let's put the spots just to make it simple. Select, choose a nice color to identify the spots. Okay, and then click here with the point. Select this current layer and then go to the top and then let's imagine select a couple of spots. Here we go with another one and perhaps another one here. Let's go to perspective. Now the points are here. We can select a specific height, for example, and this below or like that. And this one, for example, a bit down. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, again, drag this, click Alt, and then insert this into spots. Now it's not working because the name is incorrect. Spots. And we need to change here the type to points. So as you can see here, the point is now creating, is modifying the terrain as well. Okay, so you can, for example, and in the future, I will show you that in the video, you can bring LiDAR points, LiDAR point clouds, and import them as a points, and then create from that the terrain, and rather than using contours, or you can derive contours from a DM or a DSM, digital surface model and digital elevation model. Okay, so here you have quite versatile tool that you can modify and change this by the height that you want. You can create multiple points and modify the terrain based on points and contours. So let's group this. We call it geometry. Um, yeah, geometry. Wait, geometry input layers. This is create um, at geoset. Sorry, geoset. Um, and this is create topo, and then we have here the topo mesh. So this is draw topo. Okay, once we have this, we can get also we're gonna get a mesh, so we can create here a mesh and connect to the mesh, turn off this. So this is the mesh that we can modify, we can use, we can bake. If we bake it, we send it to default. There is the bake mesh, and if we put render, that is the bake mesh. Obviously, sorry, turn off this. And so you see the bake mesh that we created, or let's go to wireframe again. Sorry, wireframe. Let's delete this. Let's turn on this again. You can use a custom visualization. So for that, we just simple custom preview. Oh, sorry. Custom preview. We plug in the geometry, turn off this. Sorry, Control Q, turn on this, and then we can choose the material that we want using the color swatch. topographic color. Maybe it's something more into these brownish colors. Okay, so then we can bake this with this color. So you see it's very quick, very fast. You can create one and then copy and then modify the terrain using points. Which is another thing that you get here are points. So if you click here to visualize points, so you see here all the points that you obtain from that topo mesh. Let me close, sure. Yep. This is where you get all the points, and you can use them to analyze the terrain, etc. And another thing you could do is create contours or breaklines. So to create contours, you just have to put the contour. I think is this one, contour. And you need to use your shape, which is in this case the mesh. And then you need to define a distance, let's say every 0.5 meters. Let's imagine. Oh, sorry. 0.5, 10.0. So here you created a contours every half a meter. These are contours that are derived from the mesh or the topo mesh you just created. So it is very interesting. Here there is a concept of spatial interpolation. Okay, so how this works is you have 3 or 4 points, and then so the values are interpolated between a specific point in this, let's say, line, and there are specific points in this other line and or curve. But once you have created the mesh, you can generate this sort of contours or break lines to identify the different, let's say, subset of contours you generated for the topography, and use them and export it and or bake them. So let's imagine what will happen if you modify and you move this back and you modify this towards the front. So as you can see here, the contours are also being changed in real time. So this creates, gives you the possibility to modify the contour quite easily, the terrain quite easily, and generate different sort of interesting topographic grading options. So let's move it, let's say, to 1 meter, which is a standard, or 2 meters, or whatever it is the value. Let's save this. So this basically is just visualizing topo. And here is just generating contours. Okay. Um, One last thing I want to teach today is how you can do very basic analysis of this topography that you created. Um, so with this on, we just add the elevation analysis, and here what we need to use is this mesh or the topo mesh. Um, we can turn off this or this preview. As you can see, automatically the elevation is generated for you. And you can bake this mesh, or you can bake the legend colors. You can extract the domains. The legend step can be modified by default. It is, I think, it's 609 millimeters. I don't know. Let's imagine you put 1.2. So let's see how much it varies. It doesn't change, in fact, too much. It's pretty weird. But the color is something that you can change. So again, you color swatch. This is in white or black, or let's say grayscale. You can generate something in red for your analysis. So this basically is lower elevation, higher elevation. And you can bake the mesh, put it in the default and see how it looks when you render. So we disable the preview. As you can see here, it's just a mesh. It didn't exported the color, obviously. So that's the mesh. Okay, so this is the very basic elevation analysis. And now we have something interesting as well, which is the name is slope analysis. These are different from the other type of slope and elevation analysis we have done before in other Grasshopper tutorials. So it differs from it. So here is the topo mesh. Let me disable this. As you can see, it's all showing red, and you say, why I cannot define my color? Let's copy this color and let's bring the colors here, and it doesn't work as well. So what happened is this is slope analysis using steps as well, the predefined. You can define the steps, and here the color gradient is gold, but it's not showing properly. So what we need to do is to create a custom preview. Again, custom preview, insert the geometry there, and in colors, use the colors from the slope analysis, and then disable this. But you can see here the predefined color is a gold gradient. You can change the number of steps. The number of the steps will delineate the number of, let's say, facets and slope groups. So here there are how many meshes? We have 8 locally defined values. If we change the steps to 0.5, and then let's imagine 0, 0.5, 5. Okay. As you can see here, the number of meshes has changed, and now we have 2. And this is also changing the way it is represented, the slope, because the number of groups is limited. So we need, for example, 5. Sorry. And then increase, and then you will increasing. We need a larger number, 15. So then is when you can see the number is changing. So by default, it's easier to identify because it's a group. In fact, it's not just a number of, it's 2, 5, 8.3. So this is pretty fine. And then this can generate multiple meshes with different slopes. So this showing the slope of each particular triangular irregular network or thing that has been generated here. So if you go to meshes and then you bake them, so you will see that you have independent mesh groups depending on the slope. So all of these meshes have the same slope. All of these have same slope, and so on, as you can see. Look, so these are the groups generated. So it's just a very fast or quick way of visualizing and analyzing the terrain, not the most precise. There are other options like in Bison or Docofoso that give you a better and more precise analysis for the slope, but these are good just for visualization, I think. So let's remove. Oh, one more thing here. If you click the color, you can change, in fact, the default color for the slope analysis. But I recommend you to leave it with this. It's much easier. Let's group this as elevation and slope analysis. So today we have covered just the very basics of the topo mesh. Let's scribble here. So this is the topo kit basics, and we have learned today how just to create basically contours. And let's put the name contours. So here we just learn how to create basic contours using curves and using spots. You are free to modify, create, and change your terrain as you wish by adding or removing or changing the curves that you have designed, as you can see here. And that gives you a lot of freedom to modify, change terrains as you wish. And also we learn how to generate the sort of contours and do a very basic slope and elevation analysis and visualize all these tools. So in the next video tutorial, we'll show you how you can now generate these sort of contours from LiDAR and remote sensing data, bring it into Grasshopper, and then have the similar set of, let's say, script, a very similar script, but I will show you the steps, the previous steps, so you can import all this data from remote sensing sources. Many of them are available online from data portals, and then you bring in here or from your AutoCAD drawings, and then modify that terrain as you wish, and then create new topographic designs. This is very useful for landscape architects, and I hope you get the most from it, and also designers. And then later we will cover aspects such as the stairs, paths, walls in other short videos. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and see you in the next video soon. Bye bye.